I see you as a soldier running with the gun. It's it's a long plastic-looking black. It's not a plastic, but it's like plasticide. It's like a different material, and it's connected. It's like a tube with a handle for the hands, but it's tubes bigger, smaller, connected, and you can make it small. You can make it bigger. It serves something, and it shoots some like plasma balls that splatter. There is also another thing that shoots. It shoots the green energy, and it just captures, like it spreads out and forms a net and encapsulates you. Whoever you want to grab.
What time does this
Mars.
look like this
It's
is
on
from?
Mars. It's look, first I saw you like this. I see two parallels. It's like, I see two floors. The first floor. So basically, I'm just explaining how I see.
Mhm.
But on top it's Mars with caves. You get spiders like this. You press a certain thing there. You basically don't even press it. You touch it. From your touch, it works. I get a feeling that this gun acts only on certain imprint. If somebody grabbed it from you, they could not use it.
Okay.
It works on the imprint of the finger. And you touch the thing. It's like a little glass, and it shoots the green net and encapsulates the spider like in a net. Throws a net over, and I keep running. It's a Mars defense. I see Mars defense, and you're in this brownish, camouflage brown, dark brown, beige, and like this colors, brownish. And then here, first thing I saw, you're running as a soldier through some tunnels, through some moving, it's like a portal, and it's composed of, it's almost when you look at the cells of a leaf,
Uh-huh.
you picture from a tree, it's like cells of the cells compose a tunnel, and it's like breathing, it's breathable, it's like alive. It's a portal, and you're running quickly with the same kind of gun, but it's the woods, and you run through, it's like you run through different realities. Okay, it's like
Mhm.
as if I put like different rooms with different realities, because here I see the water like a sea and the mountains, and then you run through the woods like jungle, and then you got to the other level, which is like green grass, covered hills all over. I don't see anybody else but that. And then you finally do a jump, and you spin in a jump, which is really crazy. And then you go into some tubing system that opens like a cone, and that cone looks like a green 3D when I touch it. It's like a holographic tunnel. And when you go through it, you go to Orion. I see you pass Orion belt and go to the why do I want to say it's Goose? Like GOUS. That's how you call it? Base?
Okay.
I don't know how to read it.
Else?
Yeah. Gauss, Achman. I hear some German words. Gauss, Achman, Zeich. It really hurts my to even say it. But what I see there is like a military base with lots of tunnels connecting Um, it's like when you make a round tent, but the tent is made out of some flexi. I hear a flexiglass material. I don't know what it is, but it looks like. So the surface of the planet looks kind of like dark gray, and that everything on it looks dark gray. So when I zoom out, I see the surface. I don't even see the structures anymore because they blend in. Um, but then when I get close, they're really big. They're like domes, and the domes are connected through tubing system. And the same in it's built into, it reminds me like globes at the kids' playground. It has some sort of geometric structure to it, the way it connects. And I see the on top is like this. When you zoom out, you see like a half a globe with
Mm-hmm.
the domes connected in a certain way. Geometric. You know what reminds me? It's like a flower of life. You know that flower of life, how they just fractals of it?
Yeah.
And then underneath, I feel like underneath there is the same kind of structure. But if underneath I feel it screams in my head, reptilians and ant-looking creatures. On top, I feel like they're grays and they're just dinosaur-looking reptilians, but they're totally different from those. Those underground is in military uniform reptilians, and on top, they've got this beak. It's like the ostrich kind of face, but green, with the yellow kind of dinosaur-looking, reptilian eyes.
Okay.
And they're different. The posture is different, and the way they look, the tail kind of curls. It's totally
So do
different.
I
But
appear
they
to be
have
on a?
these vests, the military vests, with some sticking out, kind of like metallic tubes. A lot of them different colors. So
Do I appear to be on a mission? Am I alone
I hear they cloned you. They got to clone you again.
again?
There's like two clones.
Oh boy.
One is growing into some green gel.
In New Mexico.
It's interest. It's in New Mexico underground. And then they caught you on the interest. Okay, I see you watching you watch some interview. It's not a session, it's some sort of interview. There might be even James Rink interview. I'm not, because I see the woman with this like big hair. I think kind of like African American looking, but she's from Haiti, Haitian.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh-huh. And you're like really into it, and I see it's like a military reptilian dressed in military, standing with one of those. He pulled out like the metallic tube, and he's just standing, and he's actually he's holding it by your ear, and there's something they are pulling you out of your ear with a tube, like your energy. He pulls out 30% of your energy, and he's gone. And this is the wildest thing, because I clearly see 70% of your energy still present in the body, but 30 is in the tube in his hands. It's like a metallic tube, it's silver. He brings it to some bright lab, and it's like this. round, flat, round spaceship. He's in laboratory. It's really bright all over. It's like this light hurts your eyes, and he there's something. This is nuts. One sec. It's like my eyes started burning and really hard. Um, there's a lot of tubes. He pours it into some sort of I wouldn't say ventilator, but it's like a centrifuge used in the labs, but it's transparent. And when he pours it out, I see your essence. It's like you are confused, it's like your little glow of light trying to get out. It's like really nervous. And you're nervous here. You're also kind of nervous watching the woman speak. And you get like traumatized almost by the story because you become part of it. You start co-creating with her. And they use that state of mind of yours to actually they take the it's like they get the extract of your sample of your DNA from that 30%. And I see like a incubator type thing. It looks like a rectangular glass thingy, and they put your in there after they treated you with something. Okay, I see some particles of white greenish dust stuck all over your essence, and then they put you into this rectangular thing, and I see you grow, you expand, you just like get like somebody's blowing you, and then they bring that, and the mantis takes it to another section of the spaceship. When he puts, it's like imagine, it's like he puts that rectangular thing with you expanding in it into the tube where they grow clones, and he plugs in the tube three tubes on the back to that energy, to that container that contains your energy, but it's already expanded to the whole container, kind of filled it up. And then I feel like they insert something through the tube at the bottom of that spinal cord, because I already see a figure shaping. And then there's like a fluid going in, and it's filling up with green gel, the tube. And the container breaks open, disappears. I don't see it anymore, right? I see your energy growing and shaping into a body. It's almost like the gel gives a form of your body, and the body forms inside. But when you are like in a process of growing, I see you shape shift as like a frog, then like a reptilian, and then they add the third tube, and there is like a light reddish pinkish, like a rust color fluid going in, and that shapes you. I think it's just some genetic material added, shapes you into, well, not you basically, but it's your energy shaped into a clone body. And it's like gets very muscular kind of man with like flat feet, kind of like expands here, so they're stable. And then if I go forward, I see already you're in another lab. Then they put a container like this, they pull you out from from a lid on top, it opens up, and they bring you on it's like a stretcher, but it's like floating stretcher. And then they put you on some sort of table. The wildest thing, I see like a very old looking wooden desk, like it's from the old movie from World War II, and it has like an alarm, like a clock was an alarm, something I only saw in my childhood, like old-fashioned alarm with that bell on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the mantis comes again and he starts injecting you with some fluid.
In my
It's
head or
transparent, it's transparent. It's actually on the shoulders first, then he goes certain spinal cord, but then I see on the back. But on the back, it's not that he injects it in like he did before. He screws something in, like a bolt, like a metallic bolt. But at the end of this bolt, there's like a little capsule. It's a glass capsule with the blue fluid. And it goes on the back. Like I see it in the profile if I scan you. And you get like you get all kinds of things growing. Like you have some things growing here, like there's hidden tentacles on the arm, and you can use them when it's basically that capsule is the control system of the body of that clone. And in this life, you're very frustrated and it's hard for you to trust people, but it comes from the lack of trust to yourself. But why? Because you know what happened like? It happened like first I saw 7 and 6 and now I see 4 months ago.
hmm,
Why did I see all these numbers? 764 days? 764 days? No, it's years. It's about, it's kind of like because your soul tells me about it, you can't really formulate the time, but it's something, something about the months. Maybe something in the middle, 7, 6, and 4. And then you tell me go figure. I don't remember. I can't read time. I don't understand what time is. Time is what it is that it represented in this stupid old clock that I want to smash with a big hammer that I'm gonna create in my mind, because they encapsulated us into time capsule that is really fake. It's just in our heads. And right now, everybody's gonna feel that they don't want to do anything in this life because we're starting to reject the life of somebody who runs like a hamster in the wheel with a time clock all around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and circles, circles, circles. Everybody wants to rest forever from this time reality.
mm-hmm.
And you say, I don't like when they inject it into me. It's a DNA of some sort of mantis creature, a lot of insectoid forms, because I have the metallic wings on the back, but they're hitting underneath my skin. And you say my because you almost like you refer to your physical you as he, but to your clone as me. And then you say they're growing another me and you better destroy it because I have third eye on the back of my head and it's totally it's like an insert of an eye. It's just like a ball with they open up like a computerized. And you say that they're testing fake artificial eyes that they're gonna bring as technology to humans very soon. And then you say 5 to 7 years, I guess. Um, but said that they're still in the process of developing that clone. You better go into that facility. M/32 door. It's a metallic door. It's a red corridor. This facility has corridors painted different colors. So, and they call it like, where are you, Mike? I am in the yellow section. That's how they do it. And they say like, I'm M32. So that's the door to the lab. And I see the lab as it almost looks like a museum with turned off lights, because the tubes with different creatures and the glow in them, and you feel like you're in a huge facility, but you don't see, everything's like pitch black. And you show me that L915 is the clone number, and you have to unplug it. You're basically telling to yourself, you have to, you yourself are guiding, you're 70% of you guiding your 30% of you to unplug this other. And it's like they split the 30% in 15 and 15, but you still feel like you are one whole self. And you unscrew the tubes. The tubes are like almost like transparent, and they have these things that you unscrew, and you unscrewed there's 3: head, middle of the back, and like right when the tailbone is. Unscrew them 3, and I see like the clone. It's like something happens to the clone and it goes in convulsions, and then I see the head going like this down, like. And you say, well, let me make sure it's not revivable. Let me destroy. So you send like a ray of light from your index finger to his head. His head looks like so wild. He has so many brains in it, like 4. There's a 5th, but maybe not brain. I don't know what it is. It's like a half heart in the middle, and you send like a very powerful, it looks like a golden flash from your finger, and it just splatters like just like it's a mass. It exploded from inside. And you say that, do you know that they have this technology all over? They can literally use a device, or some alien groups have a finger like me, and it comes from the middle of the finger like a bright energy light, very high frequency. It literally can burn the person inside, and if you put it into a heart, the heart would explode, or the brain, it would it's like an anorexic shock, like you
Mm-hmm.
vessel, like a internal bleeding type thing causes. So this clone is dead. And then I'm surprised that this clone is so cooperative with. It's like you became so strong in the physical, rational mind, understanding things, that they couldn't really turn off your part of you, that 30% of you completely. It couldn't like blur it and make it blank. So it was done against your will, and that clone knew that he was. There's like little 2% of him knew that he was being used, or he didn't want to be there, or something like this. And your subconscious part just told me and showed me you have a lot of dreams of running and smashing and destroying and shooting. And You know what they do? It's like they can reconstruct some of they can insert you back into some of the programs that you just disconnected from if they can only get a little part of your energy, which they did. So, and I see like your you freeze that clone, it opens up, and that part of energy, it sheds all the layers of toxic, slimy, whatever that falls off of it, and then it glues back to you like a magnet, goes into your chest like ding inside. Um, and that clone, I'm getting, because you're pulling me back. Like you say, just let get out. Orion is very toxic energy, and he's opened up. He's completely broken, like in front. And you say that if you break anybody like this cut into halves, that means that electromagnetic field of the device of a clone is broken. And plus they need, each clone is created for each particular energy and DNA of that energy. They can no longer reuse it, so we can just leave it like this. And we'll left it like this. And then you're standing, I see us standing, and you're telling me that the problem is that there are new species of aliens trying to come to Earth now, and we better speed up this process because unfortunately they're pushing their own plan, and it's working out so far because people got caught in the fake programs of egregore. They're producing fake perceptions of things. They give you an illusion of survival without the actual survival. And that needs to be fixed. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at this army of some alien group that looks totally weird. It has very flat hats. It has big helmets, like an old-fashioned metallic. It's like it's like a spacesuit of the 60s, like really nonsense kind of looking thing. It has they are biorobotic. They're not, there's nothing human about them because they have this red eyes, and when I look at them, I don't feel any biological anything about them. They're an army of cyborg created by mm, they're created by dragons and in Chinese labs.
Mm.
I immediately went to China. Mm. So there's like groups of people in China working in underground facilities. There's lots and lots of them because they're paid very well. And the idea is they want to take over the whole world because the whole world, in our perception world, just a layer of it. This layer they want to turn into cyborg layer. This way, on top of pyramid, you'll have cyborgs, not reptilians anymore. And you're saying that it's concerning.
I recently got drawn to Galway, Ireland, and there's something that's there, and I think they've been using it for something to do with soul shards area.
Well, there is good platforms there for like good battlefields. That's what I got. They have
Okay.
good battlefields, and energy can be flipped. There's just like I see round discs inserted into the land
Hmm.
there, and what I see is hard to describe because on top it's like green grass, and then when the platform flips, you see like a military base with military humans running around in military uniform,
Yeah.
lots of soldiers, and all of a sudden it's like they unite and they're preparing for something. I see war with aliens, and I have a feeling that people understand that as above, so below, so above we got the war that is going to spread further than just the borders of Ukraine. But then we also got the war in space. You say that's what they used your clone for. And also there's a war very much inside. The golden rivers have to be spilled. The golden sun has to rise up. That would justify everything we've done so far, and they would bring the connection, the brick golden road that leads to the golden original sun of the origin of all the humans that they genetically modified so much that we don't know the roots of us. But the roots is that the gold is our blood. Our original blood is gold. That's why they're so trying to mimic the gold. They're trying to put it on themselves. They're trying to insert it inside themselves, use it for healing, use it for making themselves more humans, but they'll never reach that point because now it's floating inside, it's hidden, and the little rocks, little spits of that hot liquid that looks like gold and is gold, original. This is the blood system of Earth. Instead of blood, it carries gold. And that's what they want. And that's why Anunnaki came here. Because the gold can heal any planet, and their planet needed to be healed. Because it was dying, it was destroyed, it had viruses, it had wars, it had so much destruction. And they wanted to revive themselves by using gold and build up the new atmosphere of their planet so they can have vegetation again. That's why they came here. And they're coming back again. But now we're going to have the biggest fight of all fights. And that's what we feel. That's why we rest a lot and we go inside and we search for the answers. And it's so hard. That's why I am just quiet before the storm. If you feel you're quiet before the storm, you're the one who's known this for years and who is very connected to your other selves in different bodies, different dimensions, different densities, but it doesn't matter who you are.
So
I'm
that's
a seeker.
why I don't leave my house. That's why I don't have much to do with this world anymore.
Yeah, you have this interesting dragon with horns. It has like horns all along, like the skull, like this, and It's like a dragon with golden ears and golden feet, and tail is like golden, like a splatter. It's got like a red and gold, and you're saying that, do you know the most powerful colors? Red and gold, or yellow, bright yellow, those are the most powerful colors. And when people see red and yellow combination, that brings them straight to their origin, straight to something reminds them about the origins of Earth, who they really are. They can't really interpret it why they're drawn so, but those colors of power, and that's why the countries who use the colors of power are very powerful. The red has to be present. It's very important. Not many know this,
It's the
but
red
yellow
ruby.
is always.
Those red
Yeah,
rubies are the power in the universe, and they're in Ukraine and Kyiv, where they got a pretty big stock of them.
Ukraine is a different thing. Ukraine is the golden sun is gonna rise up there. I see the sun huge.
The Hadarian,
Yeah, it's like a giant, giant half circle rising. That's why Jahar Dudayev, right? Jahar Dudayev, that's his name. The Chechen leader, the Chechen president, was killed by Putin. He said that the Russian Empire will fall or something like this when the Ukrainian sun will rise. But that's not it yet. There's other part of it too. There's other part of the world that has to fall. The Roman Empire has to fall. All the empires have to fall. But that has to be through some giant shakeup. And that giant shakeup is coming up. And you're telling me, just don't tell them the war. Tell them the shakeup. Because we both know that at the level of deception and cover up of the knowledge and how they created the bodies for us that is so dense, and they're literally super hard to get down to the knowledge of our own soul's essences. It has to be a giant shakeup of energies, because I see you flying a dragon in your energy body, and you're this huge guy with like huge, kind of like prolonged blue hat, with your skin is like it's glowing blue, and your eyes are like crystal white with the blue in the middle. And then you're saying it just what I do, I go on the rounds of observation and observing how fast it's moving, because they're gonna escalate in different parts of the world, different scenarios. So you have to be quietly ready for it and just take it as it is, and keep a observation going for everyone, but at the same time know that everything at the end is gonna flip to the right side for us. You know what I see? I see like you're showing me, like, when the umbrella flips in the wind,
yeah.
it's just the earth is gonna flip like this. And what's been inside is gonna flip outside. What's been outside is gonna flip inside. And then you show me a metallic container, and you say, and the genie is gonna be in the egg inside the earth. And that genie is not gonna be having any way out to screw up what we're gonna build this time all together as one. That's like you're holding like this. It's like an old metallic, beautiful looking with like stones. Amphora, how do you call it in English? And another one is the egg. And the egg represents a soul. Actually, you say the golden thing inside that gives life to a chicken represents the golden sun that gave life to Earth, original Earth. Because the golden race had the um, biological DNA that planted a seed in a particular place in the universe, how we as creators decided, and we grew that planet together with the thoughts and ideas and imagination that we always use for creation. And that's why, but then the shell of an egg represents that those who produce the eggs and who are born from the eggs. And then I see a reptilian, more like a crocodile looking reptilian. Those came and put the eggshell over the sun. But the eggshell is cracking up right now, and the true sun is gonna pave the way to the sun that is inside the earth that is gonna come out. And when both suns come out and unite as one, that's when you know what they call solar flash? I see it more like a rainbow flash, like a golden. But you say, don't be tricked. It's not gonna be visual. It's gonna be inside. Each and every one who reached the point of understanding, it's gonna be like that. But then you flip and then you're in a different reality. It's kind of like this you show me, like that. You just wake up, you're in a different reality. You don't know why. And then your memory of that old fake reality fades away like a dream. So you don't focus on it anymore. It just falls off.
Mm.
But we get to this point through some certain collisions happening first. And that's why everybody's lying low. That's why life is kind of, the time is getting faster, but everybody's trying to slow down and simplify their lives as much as possible because the energies are pressing you that, so you preserve the energy because you intuitively feel at subconscious level something big is coming, so you better preserve your energy and the focus, keep the focus going.
Yep.
The meanwhile, you did a lot of work. You basically just did, your problem was it just they took your energy and that's it. But then you kept searching and searching because you totally knew what happened and you basically got to your conscious mind and communicated with it because the passage between subconscious and conscious open in your case very widely. And but it's more like you get the messages through information that you absorb from either visual or something you read. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
feel. You communicate. That's how your soul communicates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dreams you don't remember. I don't feel like you remember those dreams. And
They don't seem to be relevant to me. I mean that I assess them as soon as I wake up, and it's like there wasn't much that needs to be concerned about with that.
mhm. The thing is, it's almost like you are telling, like, your wife has your knowledge, and the there are people in black who visit you,
Mm,
especially before you fall asleep and before you wake up. There are four of them standing by your bed, and I see that your wife actually feels them, and she feels like somebody's watching, and she also knows the information from you or what is coming soon. And because her rational mind is not as high of not as highly developed, meaning the consciousness level is not as high as yours, she it's like her body um does what it does to wake up her brain, to wake up her perception, to start being interested in learning more, so she could even up and balance her subconscious knowledge, because her subconscious knows. I see 65% that she knows a lot, subconscious level, but then I see only 28 at conscious. So if conscious level goes up to 65, that's when she would stop feeling the impact of those. I mean, they're not going to show up anymore because you disconnected from the clone. You basically eliminated. You went back to when you were watching that show,
yeah.
and you just blocked. You told him, I disagree. I refuse to be
Mm,
done anything to, like,
right.
you just like, I refuse your interaction with me. See, the thing is, let's say when you're on the phone or you're watching something, you're immersed in that, you're
Hmm.
really carefully listening, that's when they can manipulate your subconscious. That's why even sometimes people notice they talk to somebody, it was very unpleasant conversation, and something started happening to them right after. That's because your
Well,
focus of attention, and that's when they, at the same time as they're, so the idea is you have to distract the conscious person consciously, so you can do something at the same very moment with subconscious simultaneously. This way,
well,
you don't even.
when what happens is that I see what these people are saying. Like when
Mm,
if I watch you do a session with somebody else and you're describing their stuff, it's like I'm sitting right beside you, and I can see what it is,
yeah,
or I'm creating that whole thing in my
right.
mind, what I believe that you're saying and seeing, and I'll watch your lips, and it's like I get every part of it imprinted into me
Mm.
because I want to know all the details. I want all the knowledge. I may never need it, but I want to know it.
Because you're filling up yourself with information, and it's usually, like, I see it, 2 to 5% of information really resonates at a deep, deep, deep level, and then you take it as if, inside. As you notice, most stuff we watch, it's like it's interesting as a story, it resonates, but then what do you really remember a day after? It's usually
Yeah,
not so much. But we since you're getting closer to, and the connection with your soul widens, getting bigger and wider, that's why you crave this information. And by craving this information, listening to it, it's good because you're disconnecting from this particular physical reality with all this lies and deception
yeah,
everywhere you look. So that just makes you stronger and more powerful and more sure of yourselves, because I don't see fear in you right now, like, and I don't see you doubting yourself as much. That's what your subconscious tells me, because before you used to doubt yourself and doubt others. So you constantly felt like you needed to support information you previously received or believed in or believe at the moment. And then the thing is, like, you have to follow the feel inside from each and every one you talk to or contact. Um, there's certain amount of, I see like about 20-25% of information is something that is comes from this particular person, the belief system of that particular psychic or whatever. So because we're all still different, we're as one, but we are as one because we're neural linked in a way, because our bodies are totally linked as a net. Because without that net, the matrix would crash and collapse. That's why they want to hold us in, because they see people more in more numbers. People just leave. I mean, meaning souls leave after the death of the physical body, and then they figured, wait a minute, they're all waking up, so we better create something like, let's um, invite them to the perfect world. They want to look young, we'll offer them to look young. They want to live forever because they're afraid of death, we'll offer them to live forever. And so we'll offer them med beds. They could live forever. They could always fix their bodies. And that's another trap, because then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, when a soul wants to leave and it's a near death experience, let's say clinically dead, but then they hook up that person to a machine to keep that person alive, but like as a vegetable. What you do, you cause suffering to a soul, because the soul cannot leave the body. It can be like up in space, checking everything out, other avatars, let's say in other densities, dimensions, even other universes, but you're still connected on this bungee, rope to the
Right.
body, and that's what they're trying to do now. That's why the new technologies are going to emerge and people are going to live longer, but it's not really in our favor in a way,
No,
surprisingly.
it'll look like that to everybody because they're feeling like, the technology's here and it's helping them feel better or whatever. But
Mm,
the thing about it is, it's like, and if you keep somebody around longer, then it's like, well, it's not like you have to teach a new dog, like every 5 years. This one's going to be around a long time. So if they keep the technology here, then they don't have to worry about like retraining every 5 years, or every 100 years with us or whatever. If we can live another 50 years or something like that, they've made the mistake by not allowing it to come in already. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they should have already had it in here. It had benefited them had they done that. But what's going on now is we're learning that we can self heal, you know, and
mm.
we're learning with that aspect. And then once you do that, it'll be like, oh, I don't need to go to a med bed, you know. So
Yeah, plus they are waiting for the split of the world, and they're waiting for the reconfiguration of this level that they created artificially, because when it reconfigures and the different terrains emerge or unite, like I always have see Canada moving and becoming part of USA, but at least at this timeline that I'm looking at right now, they're just waiting for that, and they want that to. Um, they're dealing with a lot of stuff, but mostly because they didn't expect the war above as much, because aspects of us, basically our energies and other avatars from other planets and galaxies, I see like they're fighting with the new armies of cyborgs and new genetically modified humans that they have different capacities and abilities. The interesting part is like they do have several lives. It's almost like it's a program in the body They can revive itself and they can put as many lives as they want. It's almost like a fairy tale analogy because there's a fluid, reviving fluid, they can be put inside the body
Yep.
and then it can be done 3 times or 5 times so far. That's what I see. And a lot of times they can pick up those bodies and redo them all over again. Mm, that's
Well,
crazy.
I think they just go overboard though. They can't be content. It's like it's just never enough. It's like, well, we got to get this much more out of them, and now we got to get that much more out of them, and you know, and
Yeah.
and now they're getting in a predicament now that's I think they've overdone it.
Well,
It's going to work against them.
ultimately, it's like, I see you at the, you call it your office, but it's like a floating chair, floating table, floating screen, and then you focus your attention. You see like different lives of yourself on the screen. Whenever you look at certain life, like with your eyes, and that means your attention focus is there, it opens up and you're kind of going in there with your mind, and you can change some things in there. Or so basically, you're telling me, look, we are playing computer games up here too, as humans play computer games down there. There's always a reflection. There's always a mirror reflection and of everything. That's how the worlds are created.
Yeah,
And but now they want to create a different level of the game when they would be just sitting behind computers and they would have armies of cyborgs fighting with another army of cyborgs. Let's say there's going to be Chinese army of cyborgs fighting with American army of cyborgs. And
yeah,
whoever gets better alien technology wins the territory over. And that's for them, it's fun. But the question is, where all the people are going to be gone? Why are they pushing people to migrate so much these days? Mm. Because they planned. I see there's a different map of the world that they created already, and it's just set in motion to bunch up people here, there, and over there, then unite them into one big Europe that's not going to have any borders anymore, which is already kind of don't really exist, the borders anyway. You can freely go anywhere you want, and but then they're gonna shift the land a little bit here and there, flood it a little here, and then disbalance the inner core, the layers. Some layers that used to be desert will be covered with water, vice versa. So because of there's something about the energetically, you have to disbalance, you have to redo in doing first chaos, then redo, rebuild. You
mhm,
can't rebuild without chaos. That's basically what you're
right,
saying.
right. I
Um,
I don't know what you see, but I mean, and we all got our thoughts and whatnot, but I kind of feel like all of the continents on the earth are under a dome, and we're actually on a bigger earth than what we know. That's what I feel like it is.
well, we'll definitely see it after all the. So there's just huge devices. It's kind of like freezer type generators that froze up the waters, created this ice age in the ice wall.
Yeah.
Behind the ice wall, it's just very nice warm weather.
Hmm.
There's different palm trees. They're not like ours here, they're different looking. And those are us walking in there too, but we don't have the projected bodies like we have on this part. On this side, we have, you say it's like we have plasticized bodies, and the weak, the plastic kind of type body is all artificially made, and it's all for us to have tons of physical pain and to hurt easily, because the other side you don't have a projection of a physical body, which is also energy, just more dense, and then you don't feel pain. No matter what happens, you just don't feel pain. And nothing breaks in your body either, because it's energy. You can reshape energy any time you want it. So it's a multi-complex. Everything is that's why they draw these fractals and everything. It's just like we're in one earth. It's like a pine cone. That's they put everywhere too. It's because they need to tell us the truth through those little pine cones all over. So we are fractals of one big system, but part of the system is artificial, another one is still biological, because there's always have to be a balance, because the creators, us, put the dynamic of by just two sides. We
Right.
call it darkness and light, but when in fact it's no darkness and light. It's an illusion of darkness, an illusion of light right here where
Yeah.
we are, but then there's only light on the biological part.
So we got artificial on one side and we got authentic on the other.
Right, right. And then since we're gonna see more water coming, because the ice is gonna melt, and it's gonna reveal so much on the ice that if we could only see it, everybody would wake up in a second, because you cannot deny visual stuff.
Yeah.
And the question is, how are they going to cover everything up?
Well, that's coming because they've been working on that all this year. That's why they burn up all the sea life down below South Florida, with the near, like, what is it, 104 temperature. It's killed all of the sea life down in there. Um, right now, uh, they got problems of getting ships through the Panama Canal because they don't have enough water through there. So, I
Mm,
mean, they basically have been, what I would say, burning the seawater because they're going to get ready to thaw out, north and south. And they're making room for that water, I guess, to where it doesn't have as much as, uh, what's the word? It won't cause as much disaster. That's not the word, that I wanted, but I'm going to use that word.
mm. Yeah, well, also they put salt on purpose. All the lakes used to be called not lakes but seas also. And they used to be not, I don't see salt. You're saying it's more like it's a different substance. It used to be in water. They replenished, they redone the whole, because you show me structure, like a chemical structure of water.
Hmm.
They changed it, because the water before, it was like you come in and out and you're reborn. Your organs are get like a brighter light in them, like energy. All the wounds are healed on you in water. Water is healing, and the water was so clean we could drink it. And whatever was in it was healing inside and out, and keeping us young. And we also had the ability to just leave anytime we wanted. It just wasn't a big deal. You didn't have to go through death or rebirth or whatever.
Yeah.
It's everything different.
It's the living water. It's what we need. And
Yeah.
as you first started speaking about the gold and whatnot, and that's the same way with the gold. We need the living gold for uh, for maximum benefit. Uh,
It has such high vibration. When you said gold, I am like in the inside the pyramid. I think it's an Egyptian pyramid. And you know what's like inside? They put this gold dust, and it looks like a snake's skin inside the pyramid on the walls. Like, but it's not the snake skin. Just looks like it. It's like they put like a dust on the walls, and I'm just kind of in there, and I feel like my hands are getting warm, like, and it just you feel so good.
yeah.
You feel like it's just making you younger or something energetically also. All the
Well,
systems.
I'll let a big one out. Is that big cube thing that they pray around? Like thousands of people go
Mm,
around it, and they
yeah.
well, when gets
Saturn thing.
that gets placed on top of the the Giza pyramid, that's when all these things will start taking place. That
Yeah, because it's a connection to the
see
Saturn.
it? Are you seeing it?
Yeah, it's connected. It's like a radar system, for us to catch, like people put the big antennas on the balconies sometimes to catch certain
Yeah,
whatever for TV old system. So it's kind of like that. The cube, it connects energetically to the cube on Saturn inside it, and that creates like a speedway, you call it, of energy in between. So it just changes the vibration of, and then it can grow kind of like branches of vibrational frequency waves that you can send to different locations when you want to control others through it. Um, and then the moon it's just, it represents the fake world because the moon is fake. The original moon is gone. They took it. We had a different moon.
yeah,
So,
yeah. They were both up there for a while, but
mm, yeah, now the moon kind of guarantees the fakeness of this world, and that's why the balance of this duality, and they're trying to keep the balance going because otherwise they can't continue as artificial. But a lot of souls are living. We're gonna see even more souls are living, especially they are see because they're fighting over power. There's going to be a lot of people in power who hold a lot of money, like billionaires, powerful people in the world are going to be living, dying, because the other um, malevolent beings want to take their spots because the alien groups are fighting with each other who's going to be in control,
yeah.
basically trying to divide them.
Uh, how's my DNA looking? Does it look any different to you now than what it did a couple years ago? The
Mm.
strength.
I see your DNA. It's like, it's like you are your DNA because all the strands are inside your body. It's like your body is made out of those strands, and they go like this, next to each other, next to each other. They don't spin or anything like they show us. They just fill you up inside. It's like your energy is your DNA,
Yeah,
and you are yourself, and you don't need anything else because all these artificial systems, like what they tell us, chakra system is the alien implant system. Everything's gone because it was pushed out by your DNA expanding and filling up every tiny, even though its cells of the body are artificial, but still you fill up the container that is given to your soul, and nothing else matters. Um,
So
you,
go ahead.
yeah, I just see like there's it's kind of like a interesting disc, but it's not quite a disc. It's like a pentagon. No, well, yeah, like a pentagon shaped structured disc, and it's spinning like it's a lot of times it scans information. When you were connected to that clone and you were in the dreams, but you in the dreams were going out and following the clone on different missions he was sent to. They used to scan this disc, and this somebody's inside it. I just feel there's this military inside it, and they send. It's something the government program related, because they're the ones who send those four guys in black and they walk around to your house, and I feel like your wife goes into this, like panic attack
Mm-hmm.
at night, because
Mm-hmm.
who's walking around the house, who are those people? She doesn't understand, and they just use scanners to scan. There's something about the clone that would activate some memories in you, and when the memories connect, you know how if they just extract memories from you, it's different for them. It's just a database, plain database. But when the memories are through your 70% connected to the 30% and going with the clone everywhere, it sparks some imagination, information, and some particular facts of technologies that you used to use before they captured your soul. And that information is precious for them. So that's a way for them to extract it from you, because they need to use you as a biological antenna who's always connected to your other lives on Series A, other planets too. And this way, you used as a device, as a connector, and as information receiver and giver to them.
Yeah.
So, and that's how they basically use us, how they come up with all the ideas and devices, basically all the alien devices, all these phones and other stuff. It's the stuff that we invented
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Steal everything.
I built those ships up there on Cirrus, and every being that come in there, I'd have to read their minds, the speed of their minds, their the resources that they got from where they're located at, to what they could use in their ships, the size of their bodies. Some of them are able to morph down into a smaller size. Uh, so I have all that technology that goes into that, and then during the Atlantis time, I used to build communication type devices in that soul time, and I
Yeah.
feel like that has a lot to do with why I got that Rh negative blood type. I used to think they used to chase after me because of that, but it
It's
it
actually
seemed.
true. It's easier control. People with Rh negative are easier controlled by the alien groups and the devices that they own are more suitable for RH negative people. There's
Yeah.
something about the controlling part system, like it's easier to fragment the soul. It's easier to insert the programs like brainwash at night by taking your or just you taking your physical body or both or separately
Yeah.
energy body only.
Well, they want a hybrid, go into their hybrid programs.
Mhm. Yeah, and the mothers was RH negative are usually the ones who carry the more like alien type DNA fetus. Kind of like my mother was RH negative. It was otherwise I wouldn't have survived. In RH positive mom, there's too much alien DNA. Um, but
Oh,
that's
I wanted you to go back to the first time that your soul and my soul met or introduced ourselves. I wanted to know if it was before that when we got abducted or.
mm, no. I see two rays of light. They turn into balls and then to rays of light, and then the rays of lights splutter into other rays, multiple, and then we co-created some flight, some shooting. It's like it's like a star, but it's moving. Okay, it's just like moving star. That's what we call it.
Merkaba?
Mm, no,
No, no.
no, it's something else. It looks very interesting. It's like it moves towards its studies. It's like a step because I'm a scientist and you're more like a technician. And you came up with this idea. You said, you know what, you can move and be as a star in sitting inside the star. It's round, it's energetic, and you're inside. You connect to any galaxy or any planet. You become like a satellite for this particular planet, and you can study the development of the creatures on this planet. That's what's interesting for me. And so we collaborated in the creation of this moving star. That's what you said you call it.
What do we call it? What was the name? Do we have a name for it?
Mm. You say moving star.
Moving Star. Okay. Boy, that's pretty unique, isn't it?
Yeah, because I got confused. I thought it was a meteor because it has some sort of like fire on the back, but it's just the energy we created to make it move. So it's like created of both of our energies because both creators compose both energies, both ideas, because your thought and my thought together of creation something expands the creation, make it work. It's like a bud of flower that it opens up and it works.
Well,
And
I think that allows us to move around the universe safer. Like
yeah,
you and
except
I
I got too
together.
curious then.
You got too curious.
Yeah, but that's the nature of a creator. Because you like to study other creators' creations, and then in study other creations, we got too caught up. It's like you got caught up in the movie, and all of a sudden you are the one of the players inside the movie,
Mm.
actors of it, and then there's another director, malevolent being, comes in and goes like and grabs you because you're so immersed and you feel like a child. You feel totally protected because you're having fun,
Yeah.
and somebody's just going to take advantage of you having fun. And that's what happened to the project Planet Terra. And there's lots of planet Terras. It's not only one, but this one was the most, the youngest projection, let's say, of it. Because everything's always done in projections. It's always multiplies by itself. That's
Yeah.
why you see multiple of everything. Just the nature of thought. If you have a thought, why does it spin around in your head and expands into, if it's negative, it becomes more negative, you observe more negative, because it's the nature of anything, of any creation. You recreate the same thing you're filling yourself up with. And, and then that just some creators were more curious. I mean, we're more like, we just kind of form groups. And that's a group idea malevolent beings used against us because they say we have a soul family, which we really don't. We don't have any soul families. We have soul partners or co-creators or soulmates. That soulmates just means that we've been in multiple lives together and we can connect again in any other life. If, let's say, on Sirius, we decided to connect in this life because you needed something from me, I needed something from you, or we needed to create some experience, it doesn't matter in what perception this experience is, positive or negative for us here, but in reality, it's just we needed to exchange information, knowledge, and co-create some experience to get outcome from it and more personalized knowledge and conclusions that we would come to as a result. So that's what we do. But then it's not always the case when sometimes you just plainly have handlers and somebody who wants to destroy you at a very deep soul level, and those are we call toxic people. For instance, in our life, who put us in depressed state of mind or wants to, basically suppress what we're doing. But they are the matrix people. They're the
What?
ones, and it's usual, like it's duality. Here's your biological self. It's always growing and understanding everything, but then you got the AI part of this world, which sends you all this negativity.
But you know that the thing about it is that, like you say, they want to suppress us, but yet they want to be like us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it
They
just doesn't.
Yeah, because you capture the perfect, powerful creator. What do I do to become that creator? It's
Yeah.
much like a narcissistic idea. If you're a
Yeah.
narcissist, you want to destroy that. You see a person, you want to be that person no matter what. So I want to destroy that person and take his or her place.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And then they raise your memory and they tell you, well, I raise your memory because that's how you learn. That's the only way. But it's not true. That's
Right.
how you forget that you are the creator and you're powerful. And you even forget how to use your power. So,
Okay. Well, we better cut down here. We're looking at 9:25.
yeah,
Um,
that's,
we can
I'm
pick up
like
on
on
this.
some sort of Milky Way spinning like a hammock, and I don't know, there's so many energies. It just, the whole space is just filled with energies of each creation, and it's waiting for its turn to expand
Yeah.
because everything has a, um, it's like has a timing, but it's not a time, it's a timing. It's how the atoms connect, the energies grow. That's all about that. And once you created something, it's already created anyway.
Yeah.
But we love to watch the process as creators. It's like when you give birth to a child, you love watching the child grow.
Yeah.
Same idea. And
Yeah.
that's when the AI got the idea of, oh, let's put them on this time linear idea. They like to watch something that much. Okay, well, let them watch them get old. How fun is that, right?
Yeah.
Or,
Right.
everything's like inside out. But anyway, I'm getting out of the hammock stuff. It's like a stardust. Yeah, we'll get over it. It's gonna be a few explosions. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, well, I'm turning off the thank you.